What if I could show you a way by which you could increase your profits without having to generate any additional traffic and without any additional cost? Would you be interested? Would you want to know more? Well, I'm pretty sure you would as a marketer, because increasing your profits without spending any extra money, that's a dream of most marketers. Now, this entire program is about how you can increase your profits from your existing websites and from any new websites you create without having to generate any traffic. If you've got 20 or 50 or 100 visitors a day, I'm going to show you how you can increase your profits from them. Possibly double them, maybe quadruple them, maybe even more than that. It's very, very simple. We're going to go through a lot of information, and I think you're going to be quite stunned when you realise exactly what you're going to learn in this video series. So what we're going to talk about is something called conversion rate. Now, before you think, oh, well, hang on, we're going into currency trading, we're not. It's nothing to do with currency. Conversion rates are basically how many visitors it takes you to get a buyer. Now, if you get one buyer or one AdSense click or whatever it might be every 100 visitors, then it's going to take you 100 visitors before you make any money, theoretically. So if you get 10 visitors a day, that means once every 10 days you may sell something. If you get 100 visitors a day, that means every day you might sell something. But what if instead of 1 in 100 buying, it was 2 in 100? If 2 in 100 bought, you've suddenly doubled your profits. So you can see this is a very, very important concept for you to understand. It's actually a statistic that very, very few marketers know. It's quite sad, really, how few marketers understand conversion rates properly. There's very few that do. The whole point is that you understand your conversion rate, because if you know your conversion rate, then you can increase it and you can work to make it better, and you can increase the amount of money you earn. This can seriously make the difference between you having a little bit of a hobby online and having a full-time business. It really, really is that important. And that's why we're going to labour this point a lot throughout this video series, because I want you to really, really understand the importance of conversion rates. It's actually, to be perfectly truthful, one of the big secrets of the guru level marketers, the really big marketers, the people that are making full-time incomes. They know all about conversion rates, and they work, pretty much they have OCD about improving their conversion rate. They really, really do, because they know they can maximize their income. If I've got a site that's earning me $1,000 a month, say, okay, and I work to improve my conversion rate from 0.5% to 1%, for example, I've doubled it, so that's now $2,000. Get it up to 2%, that's $4,000. For many people, that's enough to live on every single month. So you can see that there's a real big potential here with this. So what you're going to learn throughout this video series is how to increase your income simply by improving your conversion rate. We're going to look at a lot of different aspects of your sales letters and your business and how you can improve it. There's many different areas that you need to improve your conversion rate, and one of the big ones is, of course, sales letters. People want to know how to improve their sales letter conversion rate, because it's very important. If your sales letter is making one sale a week, that's great, but what if you could make it 1 a day, or 2 a day, or 3 a day? What if you could improve the conversion rate even more? And we're going to talk about that, because it can make a huge difference to your business. We're going to talk about improving AdSense conversion rates as well. Many of you may be experiencing very low click-through rates. We're going to discuss those as well, how you can make them better. We're also going to talk about CPA conversions. CPA is a very popular subject at the moment. A lot of people are dabbling with it. A lot of people want to know more. So we're going to talk about how you can improve those conversion rates as well. We're going to talk as well about affiliate marketing. And there's a lot of people out there that do affiliate marketing, and many people get into this as the first thing they do on internet marketing. So we're going to talk about how you can get a higher conversion rate on your affiliate marketing sales. And of course, list building, something very, very important to a lot of people. Of course, you make a lot of money from your list. We're going to talk about how to get more people to sign up to your list, improve your conversion rate there as well, which of course is going to be very, very important to you. We're also going to talk about testing and tracking. Testing and tracking is one of the fundamental cornerstones of the whole conversion rate increasing process. So we're going to talk about that as well, just so you really understand it and understand how to do some testing and tracking. We're not going to get technical, too complex. I'll point you in the right direction for that. We're going to talk about simple stuff that anyone can do, no matter how technically competent or incompetent they are. And we're going to talk as well about monitoring your conversion rate, so you can keep an eye on it and make sure that you are fully aware of what it is for all your sites. And then what you can do then, obviously once you're aware of it, is you can work to improve it. So we're going to cover a lot of information. We're going to talk a lot about conversion rates, and I think by the end of this course you're going to be a convert to conversion rates when you realise just how much money you can make from these just these simple changes and improving your conversion rate. As I said earlier on, and I'm going to say this many times, this one thing, these conversion rates, could make the difference between you having a bit of a hobby online and you having a full-time business. It really can. It's that important to you. So please pay attention as we go through this. Apply what you're going to learn and make sure that you use this knowledge, because if you improve your conversion rates, you can massively increase your income. It's not unknown for people to double or even quadruple their income just by improving their conversion rates, and you could get the same results too. Before we go any further, let's just stop and think about conversion rates for a moment. Now, say your website is converting at 0.5%. Might be more, might be less, but let's say 0.5%. If you increase that conversion rate to 1%, you've instantly doubled your profits without spending any more money on advertising or driving traffic. If I then double it again to say 2%, I've quadrupled my profits. That's not unfeasible. You can seriously expect, a 2% conversion rate. You could get there. You could even get up to 4%, in which case you multiplied your profits by 8%. If I double my traffic as well, if I increase my traffic levels, then what have I done? My profits can go absolutely crazy. If I increase my conversion rate from 0.5% to 4% and double my traffic, I've increased my profits effectively by 16 times. So my website that was earning me $100 a month is suddenly earning me $1,600 a month. Conversion rates are very important. You see, what most people do is they create a website, they throw it up there, drive a bit of traffic, go, yeah, that'll do, and move on. Now, if you're doing that, you're leaving money on the table. If you spend a little bit of time tweaking your website, you can actually turn each website into a full-time income. It really is. Now, the conversion rate is basically how many buyers it takes to get a sale or action, whatever it is. If you want an AdSense clicker, a CPA sale, a product sale, an autoresponder sign up, whatever it might be. It's how many people it takes to come to your website before you get a buyer, basically. It's usually measured in a percentage. So that's why we've talked about percentages. It's, 0.5% means 1 in every 200 visitors buys from you, basically. 1% means 1 in 100 buy from you. So if you're getting 100 visitors a week, you can expect 1 buyer a week if your conversion rate is 1%. If you're getting 100 visitors a day, you can expect 1 a day. So you can see how this all works. What you will find is what we call a plateau. It's a point basically where you can't improve your conversion rate anymore. You can work and get it to so high, but you can only ever get so high. You will never ever get 100%. And to be honest with internet marketing, you may, depending on what you're doing with some CPA offers and AdSense, you may get click-through rates, conversion rates as high as 20 or 30%, but you're not going to get a massive number. Don't aim for 100. You're not going to get there. Get it up to a point where it's doing well and you can't improve it anymore, and just leave it there. That's all you need to do. There's always going to be people that are coming along to kick tires and just have a look. There will always be that. So remember, you're never ever going to get 100% conversion rate. You're probably never going to get far beyond 50, and depending on what you're doing, sales letter, if you get 5%, that's considered outstanding. AdSense 20 to 30%, that's considered pretty good. So just be aware that yeah, with all this work, you're going to get to a point where you're going to have to say, right, that's enough, that's good enough, let's move on. Now, unfortunately, too many marketers ignore conversion rates. Yeah, most of us, we're in such a hurry, we want to create those sites, get them out there, get it out there, get it out there, get it out there, and, you know, we don't actually create the sites. You know, it's a real problem if people don't improve the conversion rates. As I showed you previously, you know, if I double my traffic and double my conversion rate, you know, I've taken a $100 a month site up to, say, $400. You know, it's not unheard of for me to be able to take that up to even more. So, you know, a lot of marketers ignore conversion rates because they're in such a hurry to create sites, and they don't think about the fact that if they spend a bit of time improving the conversion rate on every single site they created, they could probably earn an awful lot of money from it. They are really leaving money on the table. You know, my site that's bringing me in $100 a month, you know, if I could bring that up, I could bring that up to $800 by spending a few weeks tweaking and playing with the conversion rate. You know, that suddenly becomes a major earner instead of, you know, pizza money for the month or something. Wherever your position is now as an internet marketer, if you sat down, looked at your current websites and worked on improving the conversion rates, you could probably significantly increase your income. You really could. It isn't too difficult for you to do. So I just want you to think about that, you know, look at your current websites and see how can you increase your conversion rate on them. Are they performing as best as they could, or could they do better? What we've said this before, and I think it's a very important point. The conversion rate can make the difference between you having a bit of a hobby online and the extra money for pizza and beer and having a full-time income. If you sat down, if you got, you know, 10, 20 websites already, if you sat down and spent some time concentrating on them and making them convert better, you could probably have a full-time income from those websites that you already have. It's, you know, the potential is that significant. So, you know, we've just had to talk about the conversion rates, and now you understand why, you know, the successful marketers, the big name marketers, the gurus, if you like, track their conversion rates. They know their conversion rate for every single site, every offer that they promote, and they track it religiously. It's literally a part of their religion. They are absolutely dogged about it and will always track it. And because of that, they do very well. They're the ones that will test their conversion rates, test new things to try and improve their conversion rate, and sooner or later, you know, they reach a point where they're converting very well. Now, if you spend some time on your conversion rates, you can increase your profits, you can increase your conversions, and it's going to make a huge difference to your online business. It really is. So, you know, bear this in mind, you know, this previous statement. You know, as we're going through this program, I want you to think about the fact that by paying attention to your conversion rates, you could turn your online hobby into a full-time business. So think about it as we go through this. Conversion rates are very important, and you can significantly increase your income just by paying a bit of attention to your conversion rates. Now, when it comes to sales letter conversions, the top marketers watch their conversion rate very closely. They can tell you their conversion rate on pretty much any campaign and how well it's doing for affiliates and joint venture partners, how well the conversion rate is for pay-per-click and so on. Now, it's very important that you understand this figure, because it's going to help you with your advertising, it's going to help you make the most of your money. Now, let's face it, sometime in our internet marketing career, most of us are likely to create some sales letters. We're going to write a sales letter, we're going to start selling our own products. So you're going to need this, okay? So this is one of the things that top marketers do that you can do too. Now, if you have a good conversion rate on your sales letter, then it's going to be a major influencer for joint venture partners and affiliates. So if you can turn around to your joint venture partners or your affiliates and say, I've got a sales letter that converts at 5%, they are going to basically fight amongst themselves to get to promote your product. They are going to be desperate to promote something that sells that well. So it can help you not just obviously make money from organic traffic, but your affiliates and joint venture partners are going to be much happier to take part in the program and promote it for you. So, and basically, I don't think I need to tell you that the higher your conversion rate, the more money you will earn from the product. So very, very important. It's important for affiliates, joint venture partners, and for your bottom line. Now, there's two ways for you to get a high sales letter conversion rate. The first rate is you write great copy yourself. You may be able to do that, you may not. If not, then you need to go and learn how to do it. If you can afford to do it, then hire yourself a great copywriter. They'd be prepared to pay $1,000 plus for a sales letter. If you want to hire one of the best copywriters there are, you're talking at $20,000 to $30,000 for a single sales letter. So, you need to either do it yourself or have the money to hire somebody. You can get reasonable copy written for anywhere between sort of $300 to $1,000. It's reasonable. Great copy, as I said, it's going to cost a lot of money to get written. Now, a lot of people will struggle with writing copy. It's not natural to many of us. Unless we come from a sales background, it's not always easy to write good copy. So it is considered an art form. And honestly, if you can't afford to hire a great copywriter, then the best thing you can do is invest in some copywriting training programs and really get yourself up to speed with writing. If not fantastic copy, decent copy, copy that will convert at 1 to 2% maybe, that's good enough for now. When it comes to improving the conversion rate of a sales letter, you need to change various components and see what effect they have on the conversion rate. Do they make the conversion rate better or do they make it worse? It really, really depends, and the only way to do this is to test it. So you can test things like different headline, different sub-headline, different opening, different PSs. Test having a header graphic against no header graphic. Test the amount of white space at the top of a letter. All of that needs to be tested and much, much more. Now, this can get quite complex, and we're going to talk in the next video about ways of making it easier. But these are all the components you need to consider to change. You want to make one change at a time, and then you want somewhere between 100 and 500 visitors. Basically, the higher the better, because that way it allows you to get a statistical significant sample, which means that basically it's going to be accurate. What you need to do is for every single test you need to have the same figure. So if your first test you do 300 visitors, every test you want roughly 300 visitors, give or take a very small percentage, and you work out the conversion rate for every single test. So each time you drive 300 visitors or 500 visitors, whatever it might be, you calculate the conversion rate for that number of visitors, no others, and that tells you whether your conversion rate has increased or decreased from the change that you've made. Now, if it's increased, you keep that change and make a different change, or try and change it so it's even better. If it's decreased, you put it back to the one it was and change something else, or make another change in an attempt to increase it. So you can see this could take you some time to do. However, it is very, very worthwhile you doing so. It's going to make you an awful lot of money. So once you've made one change, remember you make one change at a time. Once you've made the change, if it improves it, keep it or try and improve it further. If it's worse, try making a different change, try changing it again. It's an iterative process. You're going to keep changing parts again and again and again. You're going to change little bits here, there and everywhere until you can't improve the conversion rate any further, until you got to the absolute top of the conversion rate. Eventually you'll get to a point where you can't improve the conversion rate anymore. That's fine. You may get to a point where you think, well, that's good enough, I can't be bothered spending any more time. That's fine. It's up to you really when you decide not to do it anymore. Now, when it comes to driving traffic to your website, you've got two choices when you're doing the testing: pay-per-click or organic traffic. And now, pay-per-click is obviously faster. You could possibly get your 500 visitors or whatever in a day. However, it's going to cost you money. Organic, obviously, is going to be slower and cheaper. So it's up to you. It depends upon your budget. There is no right or wrong answer. Whatever money you have or however you want to approach it, that's your choice. Pick either one of these. It doesn't matter which one it is. Now, some other tips that you can use to improve your conversion rate. Well, one of them is to offer a discount on an exit splash page. So have one of these pop-ups. You've seen the virtual assistants and all those things. They actually can work quite well, and you can offer a discount there. Now, be aware that if you offer a discount there, that news information will get distributed. People will work it out. So only do that if you're happy to accept that lower price, because a lot of cases you are going to get people who are going to just leave your page and come back in order to get the discount. So be aware of that, please, that's going to happen. So don't offer a discount if you're not happy to sell it at that price. Another way to improve conversion rates is to capture leads. Either have a light box, a slide in, another exit box, whatever it might be. Capture leads from your sales letter. Make sure obviously it captures the affiliate information or joint venture partner information as well, for obvious reasons. And make sure you capture the leads and use those to obviously help yourself through with this. Because once you've got the leads, you can then market to them and maybe set up a training course or something like that, so that basically you can market the product to them and pre-sell them so that they will actually buy it from you. Now, the really good thing about this, of course, is increasing your conversion rate is going to increase your income before you get any other traffic. So if I've got, I don't know, 100 visitors a day to my site and I'm earning some money from that, if I increase my conversion rate, then obviously I can make more sales without having any more traffic. If I increase the traffic as well, then that's just, the cherry on top of the cake. It really, really is. You can get even more income from it. So you've got to start simple by improving your conversion rate. Your conversion rate is going to increase your traffic and your income. And if you keep doing your traffic generation, then you're going to find that your income is going to absolutely explode from that site. So remember, this is very, very important. If you are marketing information products, higher conversion rates is going to make it much, much easier for you to get people promoting your product. If you can tell your affiliates or joint venture partners that, well, I have a 5% conversion rate in this sales letter, they will leap over themselves to promote it, because a lot of sales letters may have 0.5 to 1%. So having a conversion rate like that means they're going to make 5 times as much money. So of course they're going to be very, very interested. So testing and tracking your conversion rate means that you can then go to the marketers and say to them, look, I've got this product, it's converting at this rate, and they're going to come to you and want to basically promote your product. So it's going to help you make even more money, because you're going to get these bigger name marketers and super affiliates and affiliates promoting your product. So it's going to be very, very beneficial to you. But remember, you need to know your sales letter conversion rate. You need to work on improving it. The more you improve your sales letter conversion, the better it's going to be for you, because obviously that means more money into your pocket. So that's what you need to do. So we've got some tips here on how to improve your sales letter conversions. What we're going to do next is look at some software that's going to help make the whole process an awful lot easier for you. In this video, we're going to talk about 2 types of testing that you can use to help you to basically improve the conversion rate of your sales letter. We've talked about the sort of mechanics of it, and what we're going to talk about here is 2 pieces of software, or 2 different types of software that will help you to improve your conversion rates. Now, the first one is some software called split testing. Split testing is also known as A/B testing. It's basically where you test one change against another. So for example, you would split test 2 headlines against each other to see which is the best. Then when you finish a split test, you would then keep the best performing headline and maybe try changing the headline again to see if you can make it even better. So basically it's testing change A against change B to determine the difference in conversion rates. You're trying to find the best converting change. Now, with split testing, you have to keep doing this with different components until the conversion rate stops increasing. So you may try half a dozen headlines until you get a headline that performs really well. Then when you're happy with that headline, you may say, right, okay, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to try testing the gap at the top. I'm going to try testing the PSs, the subheadline, the call to action, displaying the price, not displaying the price, etc., etc. So you test all of these different components, and you have to keep track of them, of what the conversion rate is, and try and get the best conversion rate you can. With split testing though, you can only test a single change. So I can't test half a dozen different headlines all at once. Not really. The best way to do it is to test one headline against the second. That's the easiest way to do this to ensure you get accurate results. It can be time consuming, but it is very cheap and easy to do. If you go into Google and type split testing or split testing script, you'll find plenty of different scripts that will do this for you, and that you'll even find some free PHP code that you can use in order to do split testing yourself, so it won't cost you a penny to do. But you can buy software tools, and the software tools will keep track of the results for you quite often, and which is obviously going to be a bit helpful. You can buy the software, but you don't need to. As I said, you can either use some simple PHP code, PHP includes, and then go into AW stats, which we'll talk about later on, and work out your conversion rate from that. Or you can purchase the software. It's up to you. Depends upon your programming skill, depends upon your budget as well. Software will vary anything from sort of $30–40 upwards, up to sort of $100–150 for really good split testing software. But split testing is a little bit on the slow side. If you really want to do well, you want to use something called multivariant or multivariate testing. Now, this is a very powerful method of testing, and is actually the best form for you to use. If you're going to buy software to do your testing, you want to invest in some good multivariate testing software. Now, this can cost you upwards of $100. I mean, good software, you're talking between $500 and $1,000 for it. But let's face it, if it gets your conversion rate up to 5%, then you know what? It's so worthwhile doing, because it's going to make a massive difference in your income. Basically, the premise of this is, what it does is it tests multiple components of a sales letter. So you set this software up, you give it all the changes that you want, and then it automatically compares them all, works out itself which ones are the best performing combinations, and ultimately, by the time you get several thousand visitors down the line, it has the best performing sales letter for you. So it's absolutely fantastic software for automating the whole split testing of sales page. This is why it's so very good. It almost has a built-in intelligence with it in the way that it performs the comparisons and the tests for you. So it won't just compare change A against change B. It will compare lots and lots of changes all at once, lots and lots of different combinations of changes, and work out which is the best possible set of changes for your sales letter, and it will work out the conversion rate and gradually increase it for you. So it's very powerful in the fact that it does work out the best performing combination of changes. You don't have to sit there and do any calculations, you don't have to work out any conversion rates, look at any traffic stats, anything like that. It works it all out for you. It's absolutely fantastic. As I said, the only downside is the software. It's going to cost you $100 and something to $500 really for the software. But as I said, if you take your conversion rate from 0.5% to sort of 4 or 5% with this, it's paid for itself pretty much in the first use. So very worthwhile investing in and using. But when you're using this, what you need to do is test absolutely everything. Okay, test as many different components as possible, so you get the absolutely best performing sales letter you can. The better your sales letter performs, then obviously the more money you're going to make, and that can make a huge difference to your bottom line at the end of the day. So that's why we want to do it. So remember, test everything you can with this, and you'll see some really good results from it. Now, with sales letters in some niches, you can get conversion rates as high as 5 to 7 or sometimes even higher percent. You can get really good conversion rates. Now, this is a combination of very good copy and a lot of testing. And if you install this testing software and use it, then you will find that you get better conversion rates. You may start off with your first sales letter at 0.5 to 1%, maybe slightly higher. But what you'll find is, as you do the multivariate testing, so your conversion rate is going to get higher and higher and higher. And as I said, you can realistically expect sort of 3 to 5%, possibly even higher, with some persistence and some good tests. So you want to, if you're not just going to do some split testing, Yeah, if you really want to do this and you want to do it properly, you have to do the multivariate testing. The more advanced, the more expensive split testing software also does the multivariate testing too. So yeah, you're okay if you get that. But have a look at the software. Type in multivariate testing software or script or something along those lines into Google. You'll find plenty of pieces of software that will do this for you. But as I said, be prepared for quite a high price tag. The software is complex. It gets you very good results. So is actually worth the investment if you're going to be doing lots and lots of sales letters. But you know, this is how you get your conversion rate up high and massively increase your profits. It's multivariate testing. Now in this video we're going to talk about the AdSense click-through rate. Now the click-through rate basically shows you the percentage of people who saw your ad that clicked on it. So a click-through rate of 10% means 10 in 100 people clicked on your advert. Now obviously I think we can say the higher the better, as the more you earn. So one of the goals you have with any AdSense site is to get a high click-through rate. If you can get a high click-through rate, then quite often what you find is you get better payments as well. We are not sure on what formula Google uses, but there seems to be some correlation between click-through rate and how much you get paid. The better the click-through rate, then quite often you get a slightly higher percentage of money from them. Now, to see the click-through rate for any of your sites, you go into your AdSense Management Console. Make sure you've set up URL channels for all of the URLs that you're showing AdSense on, and then you will see the URLs and the clicks and all the statistics. So it will show you how your click-through rate. So that's basically where you monitor your CTR. You can buy software that will do this if you want to, but you don't need it. You can use the AdSense Management Console. What I have noticed in my experiments is that the CTR will vary significantly from site to site. It will vary from niche to niche. It will vary according to where the adverts are placed. There's so many different variants here. So you need to test on every single site to find the best possible click-through rates. Now you need to ensure that your adverts are relevant before we go any further. One way to get a good conversion rate is to make sure that you have good adverts on your site. Now if your site hasn't got meta tags, so your meta title, your meta description and your meta keywords on, the adverts that it displays are not going to be very relevant. I will tell you that right now for nothing. So you need to go through your website, look at the adverts that are being displayed and check they're relevant. Make sure that you have your meta description, your meta keywords and your meta title on every single page, and that is relevant to the content of that page. When you have more focused adverts, which you will when you've entered your meta tags, then you will get a higher click-through rate because they are relevant to what people are reading, which means that they're more likely to want to click on the adverts. One thing that you really do need to do is test blended adverts against ads that stand out to see which performs best. Typically, blended adverts where they blend into your site and they look like part of the navigation menu, those are the ones that tend to work the best. People will click on them a lot more because they don't stand out as adverts. Unfortunately, with the massive amount of advertising on the internet, far too many people have what we call ad blindness. So basically they do not see adverts. So when they're blended in, they look like part of the site and you get many more people seeing them. You want to test different sizes and placements of adverts. One that works very well is the large rectangle left aligned within the text so the text flows around it. That tends to have a very, very good performance. So have a look at that and try using it. You can also use the AdSense heat map, and we'll have a look at that in a second. But the large rectangle tends to be the best performing one. You can also test having skyscrapers on the side in the menu bar, banners across the top and at the bottom. But remember, you're only allowed 3 AdSense blocks per page. Any more than that and you're in violation of their terms and service. Now the link blocks can also be effective. That's an additional way to get adverts on your page. One thing that can work quite well is under your header graphic to have one of the AdSense link blocks that looks like navigation, so a lot of the time people will actually click on it and then they'll click on one of the adverts and you can earn from that. So that can be very, very effective too. But you need to make sure you are very, very aware of the terms of service when you're testing. If you break the terms of service, that's your problem. Google can quite happily remove your account and all your earnings without question. So be aware of that. So you need to be aware that you can't do anything that draws attention to the adverts. You know, like one of the things people tested was to put images above the adverts that almost pointed down to the adverts. Now that Google doesn't like. It works, but they don't like it. And if they find it, they'll remove your account. So make sure you've read the terms of service first. Now, here's the heat map. You can go and have a look on this on Google if you want. Basically, the darker the shade of orange, the more people focus on that point. So you can see the best place for your content is right in the middle or in the top left below the navigation bar. Those are the good places to have your AdSense ads. So use this as some sort of testing. So I would put my AdSense ads in left-aligned rectangle. Then I'll try a bar, just a banner just below the navigation bar. Then I would try a skyscraper on the left-hand side. If you look at this, I'd also try another banner at the bottom and test the performance there. So, you know, this gives you an idea of where people look. So the darkest orange right in the middle, that's where people's attention is focused. The next lighter shade of orange is also a very popular place to put ads, where you get people's eyes drawn to it. Where they've got the white blocks, basically don't bother putting ads there. You can test it by all means, but Google have found in their testing that nobody ever really looks at that area or pays attention to it. So it gives you an idea of where to place your adverts and where people's attention are. So using this, you should be able to draw attention to your adverts without drawing attention to violating the terms of service. You know, remember to blend them in though. Make sure they blend in with your site. That does work a lot better. You're welcome to test it otherwise and see how it goes. But if you do this, then you're going to find that you work well with your AdSense and you're going to improve your click-through rate. It can be quite a slow process because you've got to take it easy, try different adverts and see what works. But if you persist, you can get your click-through rate up, and obviously that's going to massively increase your earnings. Now, CPA, or cost per action, is very, very popular at the moment. It's a big business for internet marketers. Many people are very interested in this. So you obviously may be using it and would want to know how to improve your conversion rates. Now, the conversion rates will vary massively depending upon the niche and the type of creative that you deploy. The creative being the advert. Is it HTML? Is it banner? And so on and so forth. Basically, there is no bottom line. This is better. You're going to have to test. You're going to have to try different things. Much of what we've talked about so far will apply to this. But if you try a few different things, then hopefully you'll get some good results. You know, test different types of advert, different positions. Remember the Google AdSense heat map that we just looked at. Use that when putting your CPA adverts in place. It doesn't just apply to AdSense, it applies to all sorts of advertising. It shows you where people are looking for information on the web page. So you put your adverts there, they're going to see it. Test different ad sizes. Some of the CPA offers have different types of adverts. You know, they'll have different graphics on the advert. So quite often you can promote the same CPA offer with two different adverts on the same page, and it looks like one offer. Just like in AdSense, the large rectangle left aligned with the text wrapped around it works very, very well as well. If you've got a longer page, you can often put a banner in between the text. That breaks it up. That can also work very well and get quite a few people clicking through on it. Remember, as within all adverts, above the fold tends to work best because people can see it, click on it, and off they go through to your website. But I think you need to remember as well, we mentioned this briefly, is a lot of people are banner blind. If you think about some of the websites you go to, there's banners and flashing things all over the place trying to grab your attention and make you click on them. So just throwing banners on the site isn't always good enough. Sometimes you have to do more than that in order to grab people's attention. So yeah, people can be banner blind. So you might have to try different forms of pre-selling, maybe pre-sell with some text and text links, maybe put some banners in there as well. That will hopefully help. when you create a web page based on the CPA offer, you have to focus the page on the offer itself. Make sure that there's no other links, so you don't link off to other adverts and things like that. Focusing it just on the CPA offer, and that's the only way off the page, works very, very well. Don't give them anywhere else to go but your offer. Don't give them AdSense ads, don't give them affiliate products, don't give them eBay products, whatever. Just give them your CPA offer, because then that's the only place they can go from your website, so you're going to get a much higher conversion rate. If you've got other adverts on there, you may find people get confused and don't click on any because they don't know which one to click on. There's too many adverts. It may be that you get a low conversion rate on all of them because people click through to have a look at the various different adverts. So focus on the single offer. But make sure that the action you want them to take is really clear. Don't beat about the bush. Give them a big click here in capital letters, you know. Make it obvious so that they know exactly what they need to do. The more obvious it is, obviously the better it's going to be. You know, people need to be told what to do, basically. They'll come to your website, and if you tell them, click here to get your free trial of whatever, then you're going to have more people clicking because you've given them a command. But one of the things you do need to consider with CPA offers is one of the major influences on conversion rates is the traffic quality. If you have, you know, just general traffic, then you're going to have a low conversion rate. If your traffic is highly focused on the niche that the CPA offers in, then you're going to get a much, much higher conversion rate. If I'm sending auto insurance, for example, as a CPA offer, and I'm getting lots of just general insurance, I'm going to have a general insurance traffic, sorry, I'm going to have quite a low conversion rate. If all of my traffic is focused on auto insurance, I'm going to have a much higher conversion rate. Your traffic location can also have a major impact. If the CPA offer is only available to citizens of the United States of America and most of your traffic is coming from Europe, then you're going to have a terrible conversion rate because people can come and look at the offer, go, oh, that looks good, click on it, and they get redirected to some generic, irrelevant offer. So your conversion rate is going to plummet and go down to pretty much zero. One thing that you can test is test a direct link through to the CPA offer, or try setting up a landing page. So, you know, or a site based around the CPA offer. Try both of those. That can often work quite well. So you need to test them and see what the difference is in conversion rates. But with what you've got here, you've got enough information to improve your CPA conversions. Remember that the traffic quality and location are major influences in the conversion rate. If you haven't got those right, then your conversion rate is going to be dreadful. It really, really is. So make sure that you give those a really good boost up. And, you know, just test a few different placements of adverts. Remember the AdSense heat map. Use that as well. That's going to give you some really, really good help on getting your conversion rates up. But with CPA conversions, it's not unheard of to get 20-30% conversion rate with CPA offer. If your target traffic is targeted and they're all from the right area, you can get very, very good conversions here. And remember, some CPA offers can pay you $20, $30, $40 completed action, so it could be very, very worth your while doing it. You tend to get the higher conversions on the lower paying ones where there's less to do. So if it's just a mobile phone number submit or a zip submit or something like that, you're going to get a much higher conversion rate rather than where people have to then go and buy a free trial, put their credit card in, and so on and so forth. So you've got enough information now to improve your CPA conversions. Do a bit of testing, and hopefully you can increase your income significantly from your CPA offers. Many people, when they start out in internet marketing, start out as affiliate marketers. It's a very simple way to go. It's a very simple way to get going, with obviously outspending an awful lot of money. It's also a very, very powerful way of making money once you are established and you have your own list, because of course you can sell other people's products to your list. So affiliate marketing is a vital part of internet marketing. Pretty much everybody does it. Now, what we've learnt so far throughout this course applies here to affiliate conversions. We're not going to go over the same stuff again and again because I don't think you need me to do that. You want value. So much of what we've learnt, take everything you've learnt for AdSense and CPA and for your sales letter conversions, and you can apply that to your affiliate conversions. One of the keys to succeeding with affiliate marketing is to really understand your target market. If you can understand your target market, then you've much higher chance of increasing your conversion rate because you know what their problems are, you know what their pains are, you know what solutions they're looking for, and so on and so forth. So you really need to get inside the head of your target market. Who are they? What do they want? How old are they? Are they male or female? How much disposable income do they have? What are they looking for online? All of this and more is what you're after. But if you can understand their problems and their pain, the buttons to push to get reaction, then that's going to help you make a sale, because when you're promoting to them as an affiliate marketer, you can push their pain buttons and highlight their problems and show them how the product that you are promoting is the solution. And doing that is going to increase your conversion rate significantly. You've got to understand why they've come through to your webpage. If you're promoting it through a webpage, why are they reading your article? What have they come there to get? That's what you understand. They're obviously looking for something, but what? If you can understand it and give it to them, you're going to get much better conversion rate. Basically, they've got a problem and they're looking for a solution, and if you can understand them and their problem and show them what the solution is, you're going to make the sale. Now, one word of advice: if you're setting up a website for your affiliate marketing, tightly focused websites usually sell a lot better than broad ones. I mean, by all means, have a broad, a niche focused website if that's appropriate, but also have tightly focused ones because they're easier to rank for, and often because they're focused on a single problem, a single issue, they sell an awful lot better for people. Now, one big technique that works very, very well, particularly in the internet marketing niche, but it's not seen so much outside of internet marketing, but it's still very effective, is to offer bonuses if they buy through your link. So if they buy the product, you say, well, I'll give you half an hour's free consultation, I'll give you this MP3 recording, this report, or whatever it might be. But you offer them some bonuses. So basically, you're bribing them to buy through your link by adding value through some bonuses that you will provide them. Now, these need to be something that you have permission to sell, so you have the rights to sell, or something you've created yourself. But if it's unique and they can't get it anywhere else, and it adds a lot of value to the purchase, they are much more likely to buy. But you know, despite the fact it's very common in internet marketing, and you'll see in internet marketing people falling over each other to offer the biggest bonuses so that they get people to buy, outside of internet marketing it's not so common, and it's very, very effective because people don't expect it. But if you're doing it, it has to be something that is very, very relevant to the product and adds a lot of value to it and complements it. So you may need to create something specially for it. Another thing to do is to build a list as an affiliate marketer. If you're an affiliate marketer, you build a list and build rapport with them. If you have rapport with your list, you're going to find it a lot easier to sell affiliate products. Now, most marketers build lists, and if you are have a good relationship with the list, when you recommend a product, a good percentage of them will buy because they trust you. Now, if you've built a good rapport with them, good relationship, and they know that you don't peddle rubbish and you're only going to recommend good products, you're going to have a much, much higher conversion rate. Now, I've seen this firsthand in selling products. I've seen people with huge lists and no rapport sell nothing. Yet I've seen people with small lists and a lot of rapport and a great relationship and good trust sell massive amounts of product. So it's a huge, huge difference in what you can succeed at if you have a list and you've got a good relationship with them. The key really is to understand your market. If you understand your market, then it's going to be a lot easier for you to sell to them. End of story. And that really, I think, applies to pretty much any type of selling. You have to understand who you're selling to in order to succeed. Now, one part of affiliate marketing, we're just going to touch on it briefly here, is article marketing. A lot of us, particularly when you start out, you do affiliate marketing using articles. Now, if you're doing that, in order to get high conversion rates, you need very targeted keywords that you can rank for. You need very good articles, and you need good resource boxes. Now, you may want to test your resource boxes, test different resource boxes to see your click-through rate, to try and get a higher click-through rate. Remember, when you're article marketing, your resource box is not selling the product. All your resource box is focused on is people clicking through to your website or wherever you want them to go. It's got nothing to do with selling the product. It's all about getting them to click through. And if you focus on that with your resource box, you're going to get a much higher conversion rate. But ultimately with affiliate marketing, you need to focus on your niche. Don't get sidetracked. Don't try and expand out. Focus on that niche. Understand your market and understand their pain, their problems, what buttons they need pushed, and market to them through that. If the target market has a particular problem they want solving, press the buttons that make them go, ow, that's a problem that hurts. I want a solution. So that they read what you've written and then go, yeah, I want that solution. Click, they buy, you've made a sale. That's the ultimate goal. But with everything you've got here and everything we've covered, you can increase your conversion rates through affiliate marketing very, very well. It depends upon how you're doing it as to what you do. If you're building a list, then obviously you need to have a good relationship with them to sell. If you're article marketing, you need good keywords, good articles, and good resource boxes. If it's a normal website that you've set up to sell the products as an affiliate, then you need to obviously make sure that it's a focused website. Again, good keywords that's focused on pushing people's pain buttons so that they realize the solution to their problems is right in front of them. One of the important things that you really need to do is to build a list. You will hear people say the money's in the list. It really, really is. It's absolutely true. Now, again, recent promotion of mine shows how true this is. I had a marketer send out a message promoting one of my products. He sold about 150 copies of this product at $47 each. You know, 50% of that went to him. He's made a lot of money from that. So, you know, the money really, really is in the list. So you need to build a list pretty much in everything you do on every website that you create. So how do you make sure that you get a good conversion rate with people signing up to your autoresponder? Do you just throw an autoresponder form on the page and hope for the best? Or do you follow some of the tips and tricks in this video and use that to increase the conversion rate of people signing up to your autoresponder? The first thing to do is to maximize the opportunities for people to sign up to your list. Now, a lot of the time, people will create a website and there's no sign up form. You know, if there's no way for them to sign up to your list, yeah, how are they going to get onto your list? Is there going to be some sort of osmosis? Is it going to be magic? You know, how are they going to do it? You have to maximize the opportunities for them to be able to sign up. So this means at the very least, you want sign up form on every page, but don't be too in their face. If, you know, at every step there's windows popping up and icons flashing at them and all sorts of things, it's going to put them off and they're going to leave. You've got to get the right balance. You've got to present the opportunities in such a way that they realize it's there and they sign up, but not so much as to annoy them. So when you build a website, if you're going to build a list for that niche, every single web page should have a sign up form. Every single one. And what that will do is obviously that's going to help you to build a list, because no matter where they come into your site or how they navigate through your site, they are always going to have a method of getting through to your autoresponder form. Two things to experiment with on your web page is slide-ins when they first visit your page. You know, these unblockable pop-ups. Try some of those, see what they do, and try also exit pop-ups to capture people's email address. I don't know whether you should have both. That might be a bit too much, but certainly try it and see what sort of sign-up rate you get. If you get a good sign-up rate, then it works. If it doesn't, then it doesn't work. So experiment with these and see which is the most effective. Now, very, very effective way of getting people to sign up to your list, and you can boost your conversion rate, your sign-up rate to sort of 30 to 50% with this, sometimes even higher, is to offer a gift in exchange for the email address. So if you've got a website on blogging, for example, offer them a free report on blogging. in order to sign up to your list. They sign up to your list, they get sent the free report. Now if you do that, you'll get quite a lot of people signing up. But whatever you're offering really needs to be unique, and it needs to be valuable. If it's neither of those, you're going to struggle to make your sales. You could also try, again, depending on how you are building your list, you could test using a squeeze page. You could try, you could try a squeeze page, try different components on the squeeze page, and see how well it performs, because you could get a lot of people signing up using that. So test different headlines on your squeeze page, different positions for the sign up box, different graphics, different bullet points, and so on, if you're using a squeeze page. Not all of us use squeeze pages. There's times when you do, times when you don't. So if you are, then test the different components to get the best performing squeeze page possible. But if you really want a good conversion rate from once you've built a list, is you've got to build a relationship with them. They have to trust you. If you're going to peddle any old rubbish to them, you're going to just market every junk product that comes out, then you're not going to have a relationship. You're going to have a very poor conversion rate. If, however, you build a good relationship with your list, and they trust you and they know that you promote good products, when you say, hey, this is a good product, you ought to buy it, you're going to get a lot of people buying it because they know they can trust you. So that is very important. And you can often get many more sales that way than just promoting any old rubbish that comes along. So don't just sell when it comes to build a relationship with your list. If you're constantly selling, they're going to get upset. Now, by all means, soft sell in every email so that they know to expect sales, but don't just constantly sell, because frankly it's going to annoy them and you're not going to get good results from them. But always give them valuable information. If you're just saying, hey guys, check out this new product, you need to buy it, then you're going to have no response from them. They're going to think you're a waste of time. But if you're constantly providing them with useful information, and you're not jumping on every bandwagon and promoting everything that comes past, then they're going to understand that you're not there to basically rip the money out of their pockets. They know that you're someone they can trust and someone who has their best interests in heart. And that's what you want to do. When it comes to your list, you want to be in a position that, as a sort of management consultant, I would call it a trusted advisor position. This is a position of power where they trust you to advise them, and they know that you have their best interests in heart. And that ultimately is the position you want to be in. And if you're in that position, it's a very powerful position that will give you pretty much, a lot of control over them, and it'll help them to buy from you. So really think about that. But don't do what a lot of marketers do, particularly in internet marketing, is they recommend everything that comes along. Every single product that appears on the market, they're going, here, buy this, buy that, buy the other, buy this, buy that. And they get minimal conversion rates. If you're going to recommend a product, don't just recommend it in the one email, recommend it in a number of emails. So keep recommending it, build upon it, talk to the product owner, and really sort of tell them why it's something that they can't live without. If you focus on their needs, their wants, and what they want to get from you, then they're going to be loyal subscribers that will buy and buy and buy, and that's what you want. The moment you stop focusing on them and start focusing on their wallets, they'll start unsubscribing and they'll stop buying. As long as you're focusing on them as real people, you'll get some very good results from it. Absolutely guaranteed. And if you can build a good relationship with your list, you've pretty much got money on tap, because all you need to do is send an email out recommending something that's obviously quality, then you get people buying it, and there you are. You've got good income from that. So that's what you want to focus on. Build a relationship with your list, make them trust you, and don't abuse that trust. If you do that, your subscriber list will always look after you and will be loyal and will buy plenty from you. And ultimately, that's what you want. Testing and tracking is really important for you to improve your conversion rates. Now, testing and tracking is basically the process of testing a change to your website and then tracking the results. And what it does is, from this you can determine whether a particular test or change improves or doesn't improve your conversion rate. And what this will mean is it'll help you slowly but surely improve your conversion rate until you have a very nice high conversion rate of your product or affiliate product or whatever it is you're promoting. So really you need to test and track. Now the marketers who are really successful with their websites and earn lots from their websites are pretty much fanatical about testing and tracking. You know, they do it literally round the clock, you know, very, very religiously. So it's very, very important that you do this, because you know what will happen if you can maximize your conversion rates. What you need to do is test the different components and track the performance of these changes. You know, if a change makes the conversion rate better, then you can keep that change and then try changing something else. Or you may want to try changing that again to see if you can make it even better. So it's up to you how you do it, but it's a gradual process. And within you know, a relatively short period of time, couple of months, maybe a little less, you will have a very well performing website that's converting very, very well. Now there's 3 ways of doing this. Method A is some software. Now these are typically used for sales letter conversions like multivariate and split testing, but you could probably use some of this software to test other conversion rates as well, possibly CPA or affiliates. I'm not entirely sure, you'd have to look at it, but I'm sure there's software out there that does that. Now you could do it the real old-fashioned way, and you can use the pen and paper where you just write down each change and track the results, or just a simple spreadsheet, which we'll look at one in a minute. Now the spreadsheet is possibly the easiest way. It's not going to cost you any money. It's a quick and simple way to get started. But you must keep track of the results and continuously work to improve them. So you've got to, you know, sit down and think, right, well, I've had 500 visitors, my conversion rate's improved by 0.25%. Right, I'll keep that, and I'm going to try this next change and have another 500 visitors and see what happens to my conversion rate. And by doing that, you're going to squeeze every single percentage point of conversion rate out of your website, which effectively means to you more money, and that's what we want. You know, the higher the conversion rate, the more money you will make. And I've said this so many times throughout this program, and it really, really is true, is you can literally turn a website that's making, you know, $100 a month into, you know, a full-time income almost, you know, just by improving the conversion rate. It's crazy what you can do with this. You know, if it's converting at 0.5% at $100, you double it to 1%, double it again to 2%, double it again to 4%, you're up to, you know, $800 a month from that site. The one site that's making $100 is now making $800. And just think, if you double the traffic, you're suddenly up to $1,600 from a single site. And you know, all you've done is double the traffic and improve the conversion rate a little. You know, it's astronomical what you could do with this. So it's really, really worth your while spending time making this happen. It really has to become a part of your internet marketing routine. Ultimately, you will succeed and make a lot more money if you test and track. And as I said, think of any big name marketers, any successful marketers online. I'm pretty much going to guarantee to you that they test and track. And if they don't, they're foolish and they're losing a lot of money. And if they did, they could probably take their income from sort of 5 to 6 figures or 6 to 7. You know, it's that serious a change. So make it a part of your routine. Now, it may be that you don't have to go into, you know, absolute, you know, OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder levels of testing and tracking. You know, get it up to a stage where it's good enough. You may say, well, 3% on my sales letter, that'll do. That's good enough. That's fair enough. That's your choice. You know, you might be able to squeeze more out of it. You might not. It depends. But it's up to you to make a judgment call on when to stop spending time improving the conversion rate and just say, that's good enough. And you know, it's entirely up to you when you do that. If you've got software, then obviously the software will do this all automatically for you. If you haven't, then obviously it's a bit of work for you. So you can see here a simple spreadsheet. It's simply just 4 columns. The changes I made, the number of visitors, the conversion rate, and notes. Very simple. So you can see in the first row is my baseline. The baseline is the initial setup. So I've created a website. It's my initial sales letter, for example. I've had 500 visitors to it. My conversion rate is 2%. So that means I've made two sales in every 100 visitors. So I've made 10 sales. Okay. So what we do is we make a change. So we change the headline. So I've changed the headline to, and you can see I would actually note down what I changed the headline to, so I can keep track of the changes that I've made, so that I'm not repeating myself. I've then let 506 visitors. You know, I was busy, didn't get to it in time for 500, but my conversion rate's dropped. It's gone down to 1.8%. That's not so good. So obviously it's a bad choice of headline. There's something about it they don't like. So I'm going to change the headline again. So I've changed it to something else. I've driven the 503 visitors to it. My conversion rate's increased. It's 2.3% now. So I'm going to keep that headline. And what I do is I'll then test something else, test a sub-headline, test a PS, and so on and so forth. And you just keep track of this, and you can see, you know, you may eventually see, well, if I changed that headline and the conversion rate up, I changed the PSs and the conversion rate went up. So let's put those together, and you know, you may realize that, well, actually, hang on, if I change the headline again and put it with this PS, that might increase it even more. So you know, you can test different combinations of permutations and all sorts of things. So there's a lot you can do here with this, but this is a simple form of doing it. You can do it on paper, you can do it on a spreadsheet. It doesn't really matter what you do it on, but as long as you do it. And you know, if you know that you get around about 500 visitors a week, then you make a change, you come back a week later and have a look, it's around about 500. Doesn't have to be exact, doesn't matter if it's a little bit above or a little bit below. Better slightly above than below, but you want the same number of visitors every time. And just by doing this, you're going to track your conversion rate, and you'll soon see the conversion rate improving significantly. You really will. And you know, if you what you will find eventually is you're going to get a feel for what's working and what's not working. So you know, when you come to set up your next site, you'll know, well, actually this sort of PS worked very well on this other site, so let's use that PS, let's use this style of headline and this style of this, that and the other. And you can use a lot of what you've learned from the previous website to make the next one even better and start at a higher conversion rate. You know, if you've learned that a certain type of PS, a certain call to action, a certain spacing around the headline all helps improve the conversion rate, you put those onto the new website and instantly you've increased your conversion rate. So you can see it builds up very quickly, and what you learn from one website you can very easily apply to many of your other ones as well. Same with if you suddenly discover something with AdSense that really improves the click-through rate, you may go, great, let's go and put that on my other sites as well, and you know, there you are. So you've got to start testing and tracking. The more you do this, the better it's going to be for you. You're going to really improve your conversion rate through this. You know, as I said, if I take my conversion rate from 0.5 to 2%, I've quadrupled my income for that website, which frankly is amazing, well worth doing. So that's what you need to do. Remember, make this a part of your website creation routine. Very important that you do this. And if you do this and you test, you track, you work on improving your conversion rate, you're going to see your income increasing, and probably quite significantly. In this video we want to talk about Google Analytics. Now if you go to Google, type in Google Analytics, here it is. This is the site we want to go through. So we'll click through to it and have a look. Now Google Analytics is a great site. It's got lots and lots of information on it. It basically tracks everything that happens on your website. So you can see here is our site. If you've got a Google account, you should be able to just click here to access it. If you haven't, then you can sign up here. Now you've obviously got some a product tour here and bits of other information around here that's very useful. If we just click on education for a moment, just want to show you what's under here. Okay, this is the education page. There's some tests here you can take if you want qualifications, some seminars, and these are the ones that I'm really interested in down the bottom here. Now we're going to have a quick look at analytics, but to be honest, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail because frankly everything you need to know is in here, and this is going to tell you a lot more information that I could give you and a lot more in depth. It's going to give you a lot more value. So you go to the Google Analytics site, you click on education, and then we come through to these. You've got tips and tricks there for using AdWords. This is about integrating it. You can look at their YouTube channel, but this is the one we're particularly interested in, beginning analytics. Okay, and you can see down here you got a lot of the videos, and obviously there's the main video here as well. So you can use this quite easily. You see there's an awful lot of videos on here. A lot of people subscribe to it. It's very, very good information for you. You can see here how to configure goal. I mean, the stuff you can do with Google Analytics is incredible. It really, really is. And a lot of this information here is going to save you a lot of time, because yeah, I could show you how to use all this, but these are the people from Google themselves showing you how all of this works. So you can see you've got a lot of very, very good information there that you can use to understand how analytics works. Now if we come back here and we'll just access analytics now. Now Google Analytics is free for you to use and it's extremely powerful. I'm not going to show you the inside because to do so I'm going to have to show you all my websites, all my statistics and everything else, so I can't do that. But if you go through to the education, to the YouTube channel, you'll see exactly how to use this. But what I want you to realise is that Google Analytics will show you everything you need to know about your website. It will show you incoming visitors, it will show you what keywords people found your website through. With analytics, you can link it in with your AdWords account, your AdSense account. It will do a fantastic tool. It will overlay a heat map of your website that basically shows you where people are clicking on your website, so you can see if whether your adverts are performing, which ones are performing well and getting clicks and which ones aren't. So it's extremely powerful, and basically all you do is you add a web page. It gives you a little piece of code and you just copy it into the footer of every single page. Now if you're using something like WordPress, it's very easy. You just put it into the footer PHP. Anything else, you just put it on the footer of every single page. It's very simple. But by using this, you can track how many people are coming in, where they're going, how long they're staying on your website, all sorts of things like that. So if you see that you've got a high bounce rate, people aren't staying very long, then obviously you've got to work on the initial impression of your website so that people do stay later. Now, the other useful feature of Google Analytics that you really ought to have a look at is what we call the goal conversions. Now, we saw a video under the education section for it about converting goals. Now, what this does is this is useful for things like sales letters. What Google Analytics will do is track how many people come to your site, how far through the purchase process they go, where they drop out, and how many reach the final page, which is very, very powerful. So that gives you a really good idea of, more than just the conversion rate. With the conversion rate, you not just know how many people buy, but with this goal tracking, you can work out how many people click through to the payment page, how many people then click through to order, how many people drop out when and where. So you may realize that you're getting 10 in 100 clicking to order, but only 1 in 100 are actually completing the order process, in which case there's something wrong with the order process that needs fixing. So you can really look into more than just a conversion rate with a feature like that. So it's very, very powerful, and honestly it's something that you really need to be using. You need to come along and have a look at your statistics, and basically you can get so much information. If you're using CPA offers, you can also determine where your visitors are coming from, which countries they're coming from, so you'll be able to see where the majority of your visitors are coming from, and maybe you might want to install some sort of geolocation script or something like that so that you can direct people to the right sort of adverts. If 75% of your traffic's from the USA, then you can pretty much just put USA adverts on there and not worry about the rest too much. However, you may find that your traffic's fairly well distributed between the USA, Canada, Europe, Australia, and I don't know, say India, in which case you may need to do some smart geolocation to work out who goes where, basically, and who sees which version of the website or which adverts and so on and so forth. But Google Analytics is very, very useful. It really, really is. And as I said, I could sit here and try and show you some of it, but frankly, we're only going to scratch the surface. To really sit down and show you how to use analytics would be here for hours, which is why I think you need to go to the education and go through to the their video channel and go through there. If you click on education and go to the beginning analytics, that's going to give you everything you need to know. It really, really is. So, you know, there's a lot in here that you can potentially use to really understand your conversion rates. Now, we've looked at analytics very, very quickly. What I want to show you now is AW stats. If you're on a web host that has cPanel, then you will have AW stats hopefully built in. AW stats is a sort of a light version that gives you a rough idea of some statistics. Pretty much it's all you need to work out conversion rates. Now, this is a sample, a demo of it that you can see, and you can see here it tells you how many visitors, and you can see some useful information appearing in the top here. So what we're interested in is here you can see how many people coming in each month, and here you can see how many visitors you get per day. So this is very, very useful. Basically what we want to do is, this is the figure we want to take. So we set our conversion going on, say, the 10th of April, on the 1st of April, sorry, and we're now on the 10th. So we scroll up 214 visitors so far. So, you may say, well, that's enough for the statistical sample I want. So, you make your change on the 1st of April, and now it's 10 days later, we've had 214 visitors. We check the conversion rate, so we see how many people have bought. So it's 214. Okay, so if we've made 2 sales, we know our conversion rate is around about 2%, basically. It's a very simple calculation. So we've just opened a calculator window here, so we can have a look at it. So we've had 214 visitors, and say we've made 2 sales in that time. So it's 2 divided by the number of visitors, so it's the number of sales divided by the number of visitors. That gives us a lovely long figure there, and then you times it by 100. Okay, so our conversion rate is 0.93, so it's under 1%. So let's say we've made 7 sales in our 214. So be 7 divided by 214 times 100. We got conversion rate of, say, 3.3. We round it up, so our conversion rate is 3.3 from that. So that's pretty good. So that's all you do, is you leave it for a certain number of visitors, then you perform this calculation and you note down the conversion rate, and you track it and you see how it's improving and how it's not improving, for example, and then you know whether your changes work. So if on the next time I've had 212 visitors, the next 10 days I've had 212 visitors, and I've made let's say 6 sales, I can do 6 divided by 212 times 100, and you can see my conversion rate is 2.8, so it's gone down. So whatever change I made would have done hasn't really improved it. So it's very, very important that you just calculate your conversion rate like that. Now if we go down as well, these are interesting statistics as well. You can see when people visit your website. You may find that maybe on your niche, people come to your website at the weekend. They don't really visit it during the week. Or it might be the other way around. It might be that your website gets lots of visitors during the week, but the weekend the traffic disappears. Here you can see the hours of the day. This is on obviously in the server time, not your local time. So you can see what hours of the day people visit, how many people visit when. This is also very, very useful here. You do need to know this information. This tells you where people come and visit your website. So you can see on this particular demo, I've got 138 from United States, 107 from France, and then it drops off significantly. So you can click here to view the full list. This will show you all of them. So if I was displaying CPA offers here, I would know that the majority of my traffic is from the United States, but I've got a lot of French visitors as well, so I'd have to display something specifically for them, otherwise potentially I'm missing out on a lot of traffic. And you can see there's a bit more information as we scroll down. Particularly of interest is here again, you can see what pages people are finding within your website. So again, this is useful for you to understand what people are reading in your site. This one up here with just a slash is your home page, but you may be surprised to realize that actually there's loads and loads of visitors to one particular page. So if that's the case and it's not converting well, then all you need to do is focus on that page. If the majority of visitors are coming to your home page and it's not converting very well, then what you need to do is focus on the home page first, improve the conversion rate there, and then apply what you've learnt to the rest of your pages. We're not so worried about operating systems or browsers, but what we are interested in is down here. You can see the key phrases that people come to visit your site from. So this is basically what they're typing in Google. Again, this is useful for you to generate traffic and understand what's how people are finding your site. And you can see here pages where they come to your site and how they've got there. So this is AW Stats, and you can see it has got a lot of useful information in. One reason to use this is a lot easier than Google Analytics, and you can very quickly come in, add up your visitors, work out your conversion rate, and off you go. You know, it's probably the easiest way if you're doing that. If you want more in-depth information and you really want to take your testing and tracking seriously, then I think you need to look at Google Analytics. There's an awful lot more in there, and you're going to find you get a lot more from that, I think. So this is Google Analytics and AW Stats. They're two methods of tracking information on your website. I've shown you how to calculate your conversion rate. It's the number of sales divided by the number of visitors times 100. That will give you your conversion rate. And I've shown you some more interesting statistics here. Now, if you want to find out more about Google Analytics, just go into the education and watch the videos there. They'll show you everything you need to know, and it's going to be a lot easier for you to understand that. I would definitely set up Google Analytics on every single website I create, simply because it's just good practice, and then you've got them there. You've got the statistics if you decide you want to do it. And also, if you choose to sell a website in the future, just having those analytics stats can really bump the price up when people see that your website statistics are actually real. So very, very useful information for you there. And that's basically two ways of tracking your statistics, and it's simple to do. Remember to install analytics, and either use that or use this, but always install analytics whatever you do anyway. The real beauty of conversion rates is by focusing on improving your conversion rates, you can increase your profits without any additional traffic. If you then increase your traffic as well, well, that's just the icing on the cake, because you make even more money. You know, if I'm converting at 0.5% and I'm having say I'm converting at 1% and I have 100 visitors a week, each sale is worth $30 for me. That means that site's making me $30 a week. Now that's nothing to write home about. If I double my conversion rate, it's making me $60 a week. Yeah, still not too bad. But if I've doubled my conversion rate and I've gone to 100 visitors a day, I'm suddenly earning $60 a day, which starts to become money that you go, that's not bad. So, you know, if you focus on your conversion rates, and as you improve your conversion rates, you drive additional traffic, maybe through pay-per-click, because obviously you're going to know how much money you're going to make, so you can use pay-per-click, or work on improving your ranking in your organic search engine listings. then you're going to make even more money. So it's going to be absolutely fantastic for you. The people who are successful as internet marketers always work on improving their conversion rates. They will always be working on it. So you need to make sure that you work on your conversion rate, because not because it's just something to do, but because it's a good business practice. By making sure you squeeze every cent out of every website, you're going to make a lot more money than if you sit there and go, wow, that would do 0.5%, yeah, that's fine. That website could be converting at 4%, it could be converting at 8%. You could be earning a massive amount of money from that website, but because you can't be bothered to improve the conversion rates, you're not. So that's why it's so very, very important. But whether you're creating a sales letter, CPA offer, an affiliate offer, whether you're doing article marketing, AdSense, whatever it might be, you need to pay attention to your conversion rates and sit and spend some time tweaking the website in order to make it better. The better it converts, the more money it works for you. Fantastic. Now, you may find that you've set up a website and you're promoting a particular affiliate product and it's not doing very well. If you then do some testing and you're tracking your results and you realise, well, it's still not doing very well, maybe that affiliate offer just isn't converting. So maybe you need to try a different affiliate offer. Maybe you need to try some AdSense ads, something like that. Try different types of adverts if one isn't working. If your sales letter and your product really isn't selling, try putting up an information site in that domain and seeing how that does with some adverts. Maybe that will give you an idea on what to promote on that website. So think about it. You've got to be a little bit creative. You've got to think a little bit outside the box. But if you do that, then you're going to find a better conversion rate. You may have AdSense on there and you're getting 5 cents a click. You're earning 10, 20 cents a day from your AdSense. Woohoo! But what happens if you change that AdSense to a CPA offer? Suddenly you're making one sale every 2 days, but it's $40. So you may want to test different types of advert, and that's something we haven't touched on elsewhere in this course. I wanted to save it till the end. So you can test different types of advert from different networks to see which performs the best for you. You may find that you get one sale a month on your CPA, but and get $30 from that, but your AdSense makes you $60 a month from clicks. You've got to test the different types. Don't just focus and say, well, I'm making this on CPA offer regardless. Try putting some clickbank products on, or some AdSense, or different things, and seeing what's going to work. If you take your conversion rate from 0.5% to 1%, you doubled your income. Take it up to 2%, you've quadrupled your income. Take it up to 4%, you've got 8 times the income from the same website. It can very, very seriously, you can earn a full-time income just by spending some time on your conversion rate. It can make the difference to you between having a hobby and having a proper business that does more than just pay for your pizza and beer each month. It can make a significant difference to your online earnings. There are too many marketers, and I'm guilty of this just like the rest of us. You get caught up with an idea, you throw the website up, that'll do, move on to the next product. People don't sit there and take the time to improve their conversion rates. When they do, they're often shocked by how much they can earn from a particular website, and then quite often they realise that they can make many websites in that niche and create a full-time income from a network of sites in one niche. So don't get too caught up in ideas and moving to the next products. Sit there and work on the conversion rates. You'll see a huge difference. By taking the time to work with your conversion rates, you're going to create a solid foundation for your business that means you have a reliable income. What you learn from one website with the conversion rates, you can apply to other websites and instantly start with a higher conversion rate. So a very, very powerful technique. It can explode your online income. It really, really can. You're going to be amazed by what it can do for you. You really, really will. It's that powerful. So now it's over to you. You've learnt a lot. You know all about conversion rates. You know how to test and track. You know how to what to do to improve your conversion rates in a variety of different situations. You can even test different adverts, as we've just discussed. Now it's time to take that information, Pick one of your sites that isn't performing as well as you want and apply it to that website. Just do one for now, and once you've done it and you've improved it, move on to the next one. You're going to be quite amazed by how much you can do with this and the results that you're going to get. Work on increasing the conversion rate and then test different components. Test many different components, see how they work, see how they affect the conversion rate. Do they make it better? Do they make it worse? If they make it better, keep them there, try and improve them further. Test different components as well. And then finally, what you need to do is enjoy the increased income from your efforts. This video course, I know we've not sat there and taught you a technique for making $1,000 in a day without, in your pajamas, but what we've done is we've shown you a way to build a proper online business. We've shown you a way to take your existing websites and increase their income and potentially turn your online business into a full-time concern. So, if you think about it, you've got 10 websites, each making $100 a month. That's $1,000 a month. Quadruple your conversion rate, you're now on $4,000 a month. For many people, that's enough to go full-time internet marketing. It's that powerful. Double your traffic, you're up to $8,000 a month. Just from your existing websites. Extremely powerful technique. So really, really, you need to sit and try to improve your conversion rates. You're going to see a massive difference when you do it. So what I'm going to say to you again, apply this now to your website. Pick one, increase the conversion rate from it, see the results. Once you've done that and you've seen the results from that, you're going to be hooked. You're going to do this on all your sites, and you're going to have a massive increase in your income. And who knows, within 6 to 12 months, possibly less time, just from your existing websites, you may have a full-time income from your internet marketing business. And just how good would that be?